Welcome to the channel and welcome to a very wintry episode of the Dutch Pagans channel. To be perfectly honest, in this week's video I wanted to talk about something else, but then I woke up and look at this. It's suddenly a winter wonderland. So we're going to talk about snow. Specifically, we're going to talk about a goddess, a local goddess in Holland/Germany that is responsible for making it snow. It's going to be a 10-minute video where I'm going to talk about two goddesses and one god that were worshipped by our pagan ancestors in the Netherlands and in Germany. It's hard to say gods of the Netherlands because these gods were worshipped a long time ago, far before there ever was a thing as Netherlands. We only know about these gods because when the Romans came to these parts, they started writing everything down. Before that, it was all oral tradition. Now, oral tradition is very good, but when your people get either converted to Christianity and they stop talking about your culture, or they are just completely murdered because they refuse to convert to Christianity, that culture and those gods and those energies fade more into the background. I wouldn't say they disappeared because old gods have a tendency to never just disappear. By the way, I hear a lot of people saying that, like we're bringing the old gods back. We're bringing the old, sounds good. But the more you walk a pagan path, the more you realize that the old gods never left. So it's not the gods that left us, it's us that has left the gods. So it's not a case of bringing the old gods back, it's more a case of just trying to align yourself more with that which has always been here. Okay, about a 10-minute video, two goddesses, one god of the people who used to live on that land where I'm standing on right now. So about this area, but of course it wasn't just this area. There are large parts of Germany where they worship these goddesses and gods also. Okay, for instance, the Frisians. Now Friesland is just a tiny province. It used to be a lot bigger. So the first goddess is responsible for the snow. The first goddess name is vrouw holle. She's most known under that name, but she has, just like Odin has many names, she has many names. Hulda, Vrouw Venus, Holle, Frigg. She has many names and many aspects. Now, I've always been hesitant to talk about Vrouw Holle because I had trouble understanding her because she has so many aspects. But a good way to start thinking about her, if you're familiar with Norse mythology, you know the Norns, the three Norns who weave everybody's web. And you know Hela, Loki's daughter, who rules over hell and who takes care of the souls who end up there, in the underworld. Vrouw Holle is kind of like a soul pump. She takes care of the souls, so she's kind of like Hela, and she's the spin goddess. She creates the web of life. So she does these two things, and she has many aspects. She can appear as this beautiful white maiden. She can appear as the Veleda, as the old wise seers, or she can appear as the one who bridges the worlds and who is always in between this world and the other world. Around these parts, she is known as Wodan's wife. Now you think maybe that Wodan's wife is Freya, or Wodan's wife is Frigg, or maybe Frigg is an aspect of Vrouw Holle. And maybe Wodan is just the kind of god that gets around a lot. Still around these parts where I live now, when it snows, there are people who say Vrouw Holle is fluffing her pillow. Because there's a famous story where she fluffs her pillow and that's how she makes it snow. It's said that when she makes it snow, that's kind of like a symbol of all the souls reincarnating back into the earth. Because especially back in olden days, there's a lot of child mortality. There were big families, but only 3 or 4 children would make it to actually become an adult. So there's a lot of souls who die. she takes care of those souls. As a mother, she takes care of those souls and she makes sure that everything goes right and that they can come again when it's the right time for them. So in December, there's always Odin, Wodan, does the wild hunt, where the wind blows and he takes all the souls of all the people that have died that are still here. Around these parts, we believe that Hulda, vrouw holle, is also responsible, and you can leave a little coin out as payment, as an offering, that she may take all the restless souls that are still around these lands, and that she may take it and they may take care of her, that she will take care of those souls. Now, that's all I'm going to say about vrouw holle. Well, just maybe one thing. The Netherlands, Holland. Is Holland named after vrouw holle? There's no direct evidence, of course, but it's very likely. Meaning that, like, Ireland is named after Iru, the goddess of Ireland. Holland is named after vrouw holle, the goddess of the lowlands. Makes perfect sense. But you have Holland and you have the Netherlands. Where does this come from, the Netherlands? That's the second goddess I want to talk about. I did a video on her specifically, I think about a year ago. Nehallennia. Still to this day I like saying that name, Nehallennia. She's the goddess of the sea. You didn't think that the Dutch people, a people that are so closely intertwined with the sea, wouldn't have a goddess for the sea. But it's not just the sea that she governs, it's travels that she governs. And even merchants who have nothing to do with the sea come to her to ask for her favor. There were some excavations in the other side of the country in the province of Zeeland, where they found her temple and they replicated it. I still need to go there someday and make a video for you. There's no prayer or anything pagan going on at the moment. Just wait until I get there, then we'll get that sorted. But now it's just a museum. People used to stop there and make an offering to Nehallennia for a fruitful voyage. Now she's often depicted with some apples. Now, apple could be seen as a metaphor for knowledge, because if you don't have any knowledge, there's a good chance your journey won't be successful. But it could also be a metaphor for the horn des overvloeds, prosperity, a whole basket full of apples, that there will always be enough. And she's often depicted with a dog. Dog could be symbolic for the underworld, but it could also stand for unwavering loyalty to those who wish to sacrifice and petition to her to grant her favor. That's Nehallennia. Netherlands, Nehallennia, Holland, vrouw holle. Do you think these are right? Do you think one of the two is right? Let me know in the comments below. Now the third one, I'm going to make it brief, because there's very little known. The Frisians had one deity that was their main deity. You go like, yeah, Odin. Their main deity was foresetti. Now, like I said, very little is known about foresetti. One major thing that is known is that he is a god of justice. Kind of like Tyr. But because there is so little known, I spend a lot of time thinking about foresetti and just thinking about foresetti and saying his name and seeing like if I get some insight in what he is and how he does. And I've cross-referenced what I found in my heart regarding to foresetti to the people from Friesland that I've met and that I admire. Because there are some people from Frisians who have something of a spiritual nature in their heart. And that spiritual nature in their heart is kind of different than other Dutch people. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I was like, maybe if I understand foresetti, I understand these people better. Or if I understand these people better, maybe I can understand foresetti better. Maybe that strange thing that I find in the heart of Frisians is foresetti. Still, it lingers in their heart. Some of them not even knowing that he's there. Consciously, subconsciously, they must know. So, what is it that I see in the hearts of Frisians? Well, in Holland we say stug volk. They're a rugged people. And they have a sort of silence in their heart. But if I really feel what silence it is this silence, this trust. This trust in natural law. They have a certain trust in them that everything will work out. And that's not a naive trust. That's not a trust of a 15-year-old boy thinking, oh, it will probably work out. Because it probably won't if you're a 15-year-old boy and you're being truly naive. This doesn't come from a naiveness. This comes from experience. Experience that there is such a thing as natural law. The experience that the spider that thinks that it's so clever and it's weaving a web and it's going to catch you, that spider's going to end up tangled in its own web. By the way, I'm not talking about spiders right now, I'm talking about politicians. Dun, dun, dun. But they have a certain trust in natural law. And natural law has its own kind of justice. So I think that is what foresetti represents. Foresetti is the arbiter of natural law. For lack of a better word, you could probably call him karma. But I don't like that word because it's not a Dutch word, it's not a Germanic word, and it's also associated with karma. So you don't have to do anything in life and things will just work out, just be a Christian, turn the other cheek, and I don't think the Frisians were like that at all. Because they fought to keep what theirs. So there you have it, folks. On this snowy day, 3 goddesses that our ancestors worshipped. I hope I did them justice. If there are people watching this video and they're like, yo, Reini, about nehallennia, about vrouw holle, about foresetti, there's something you missed, or I don't agree, feel free to let me know. I'm learning all the time. Paganism, the only religion with homework. So, thank you for watching. Ga met de goden. And I'll see you next week.